Katrīna Kukaine, Director of Development Department of National Library of Latvia. So Katrīna, please.
Thank you, Emil. Yes, it's so emotional to speak as the last one after all that we listened today, and thank you so much for your presence. It's excellent, and especially the children books. You know, we need a lot of children books in different languages. It's so nice. Yes, and my duty today is to tell you about Latvian libraries in support of Ukrainian refugees, and thanks to my colleagues in all around Latvia that send us the information what they are doing and how they are working for Ukrainian people here in Latvia. Thanks to my colleague Katrīna and Evija who collected all this, and then I can tell it to you today. If we are looking for numbers of Ukrainian people today here in Latvia, we have 36,600 Ukrainians registered their place of residence in Latvia. So it's not the complete numbers, as you understand. But between them, of course, most of them are part are women, 60%, and 30% of children of age not reached the age of 18. So we understand the public that we need to work with. And why we are doing, of course, in the 1st of March, IFLA wrote a statement of Ukraine, and we all understand that we are in solidarity with the Ukraine, but also they ask in this statement, we stated all libraries together that we will find the practical solutions for Ukrainian people, how we can in our librarian work. And all around the world, there was symbolic solidarity actions in libraries. For this case, for example, you see the Ukrainian flag near to the National Library of Latvia, or another activities and support and solidarity activities. But what libraries in Latvia are doing in general for the Ukrainian people? Very diverse, wide diversity, starting with collections in literature in Ukrainian or English and Russian for Ukrainian people. It's also the user box on site in the library, so welcome to the library, the people. It's all the practical things of printing, copying, access to internet, but library premises is also for communication, for meetings, for be there, for work, study. It's for example board games for youngsters to do something with their work, their free time. Educational events, individual consultations, and for example, we have our digital guide about National Library, and we made it also in Ukrainian, so you can visit the National Library also in Ukrainian language. About all these activities, you can read on our libraries portal, Latvian Libraries portal. We made a special section, Atbalsts Ukrainai, support for Ukraine, and you can read there all the examples and experience from Latvian libraries. Looking more in details of technical support, what our libraries are doing, as I said, printing, scanning, copying, it's very important for Ukrainian people in the moment when they need all the documents and they have not home, not special service for that. It's assistance in obtaining banking services. Didra said that there is a border to do it or not, but librarians are helping on that as well. It's help for access medical personnel as well to give the contacts, to advise, to give the vocabulary how to speak with medicine. It's digital resources on the websites. A lot of libraries, for example, this is example from Balvi library. They made special section for all the resources on website collected under one section for what could be useful for Ukrainian people. And it's also the workplace could be for Ukrainian people, our Ukrainian colleagues, librarians, as Dieter also said, two are working in the Riga Central Library, and I think it's a great opportunity to receive individual consultation in your native language. It's really a possibility for the Ukrainians. Big part of the support goes for pupils and students from Ukrainian libraries, assisting to Ukrainian youth to continue their education remotely. They are doing remotely in Ukraine, so they help with infrastructure, with internet connection. It's also to find and to propose study materials on internet, printed workbooks also, help with homework sometime if needed, especially with work with homeworks in Latvian if they make Latvian language studies. It's also for youngsters, for young people who are searching for job or high school prepared CVs and other necessary documents in Latvian, and help them in that. And also it's a place, library, a safe place, as we are talking today a lot, this mention, a safe place to study, to go to internet, to read, to do the things, intellectual things. Creative activities, and that is important. It's not only about Ukrainian for Latvians, but it's also about Latvia for Ukrainians. So it's very, very interesting that a lot of activities that we read in these information from Latvian libraries, that they are going in mutual way, enriching one another in that way. And there is a special collections, there is exhibitions, but also the meetings and conversation. And one of them you are seeing in Ogre Library. We are going with colleagues afterwards there, where Ukrainian people are inviting local community to make a content with Ukrainian culture, food, traditions, habits, and really to understand the Ukrainians that are now part of our community for a while, I hope, before they go home. Books in Ukrainian, of course, as Chitra mentioned, there is no donations. There are also all the libraries are trying to buy them in different ways and different channels. But donations, for example, this is a one from TV. Emission that was a big donation through the embassy of Ukraine that was in the framework of initiative of Lena Zelenskaya, the Ukrainian bookshelf. It is initiative all around Europe, and also National Library of Latvia received 120 books, also children books that we are very happy, but also the books on history of Ukraine, on the big historical moments, and there are books in Ukrainian but also in English to read for the Latvian public, all the very important themes on to understand the Ukrainian nation. And talking about children, yes, it's the books are not. It's quite difficult to buy them. They come to us with retard. But for example, my colleagues in Children Literature Center, they are part of the project with Baltic authors and illustrators, and they make self-made books. You can print them out and make yourself the small books for children on very sensitive themes of society, and they made these books in Ukrainian as well. So any library in Latvia or all around, you can print it and use it for Ukrainian children. Yes, it's also the help in learning in Latvian language. Of course, some of the libraries in Latvia propose a premises for the regular courses of Latvian language, but like we did in National Library in Latvia, we created a kind of conversation evenings for these Ukrainians who are learning language, really to talk with them, to use the words, to use the vocabulary, to talk what is important tomorrow for you. Are you going to the doctor or to the shop on what you need and which words, and really to talk with them. And we felt that it was useful not only for the language learning, it was useful like normal conversation and of all the problems and all the worries that they have here. And of course, the one very important mission for libraries is create this creative environment, because the art, creative activities really calm down and give your head someone out of all these horrible things that happens in Ukraine and on the way to the Latvia. And there is a lot of workshops for adults, children classes, poetry evenings about Latvian poetry or Ukrainian poetry. And as you see, it's also mutual activities to understand each other. Other support, also very practical, but more or in military way, as you see, because this is an example from Kruspils Library and Kruspils Cultural Center. They made the workshops of these camouflage nets to make them for the Ukrainian army. Or, for example, we as a National Library, we was involved in activity of donation of materials for packing materials for cultural heritage, not only libraries but also museums and archives. And you see my colleagues are putting all on the track it, and we send it to also the Plywood to help really the safeguard the cultural heritage. Also scanner for digitized the materials to keep them more in more safe place. So librarians are everywhere, in charity, in donations, in cooperation with NGOs and funds, but also with municipal institutions as social services, so to be closer to the community. And there is one quote, one citation from one library in Moldova who wrote about the friends, they becoming the friends of Ukrainian, small Ukrainian community who went to the, and I could quote it, we tried to give them the feeling of spring in Latvia. They come in spring, pamper the children with sweets, birch juice, and home-baked pancakes. We informed about culture and sport events in the city. We had become friends, and we were together when they went back on June 2. We said goodbye. We parted with tears in our eyes, but we gave them bread for the journey. But we were very aware that they had to return to their land in war. We exchange contacts and continue communication on social media. Our friends call Moldova their city, enjoy the changing colors of seasons, recognize places and people, and share memories. And I think, and this is one librarian who wrote it. I think it's really is a sense of all what we are doing. And really to conclude, maybe conclude all your thoughts today and all together and looking forward for this common project. We are searching for this role of librarian as a change maker, as a game-changing maker. And really it's a guide, it's a crucial person in the field of reliable and verified information at first. Other thing, the librarian is mediator between different groups, different communities, different nations even, and different thinking people. It's social assistant, as you see from all these examples in these very hard times. It's one of the community builder together with municipality and other services. Librarians are building communities. And at least they are facilitator of democratic processes and resilience of community. So librarians are important. And thank you very much, and good continuation for all of us.
Thank you, Katrīna. Thank you so much. Maybe there are questions from the audience. Yes.
Yeah, I would have a question. Me as a linguist, as a first profession, I'm interested in these courses of Latvian language that you are providing in the library. So is that a special curricula elaborated for this aim? Where do you take the teachers, and is it done directly from Latvian to Ukrainian? Because I know that there are express methods of learning a language, so how do you do it? Maybe you could elaborate more on that, because it's an actual question for all the countries that are receiving a lot of refugees. So yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's a good question because it's precise. It's not; they are not the courses of language. We are not doing the courses of language. We have had this idea at the first time where we heard about this need, but it's very difficult to find the teachers of Latvian. And there is the courses of the Agency of Integration. It's the special courses for Ukrainian people granted by Latvian government, and we phoned them and proposed really something that is unprofessional in the linguist side, and there is no curriculum. We picked this idea from the German libraries who are working with, they have program to work with refugees in Berlin, for example, really to invite them for the evenings of chat in German, and to really integrate them in the local communities. And we picked this idea, and together with Agency of Integration, there was a total 3 courses of E1 level. Who finished the E1 level, they came to us, and we the methodology was that one librarian had 2 conversation partners, and they really just talked it, but only in Latvian. And afterwards, we made the excursion in the library, also in Latvian. And we tried to understand each other. We talked very slowly and wrote the words and etc. So it's not professional. It's really the free conversation. And I think it was good for them. It was not really the methodology with teacher. Teacher was with them, their teacher. They came in group with the teacher, but we were really the normal people just to talk with them.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Katrīna.